South Africa currently has some 4,700 informal settlements and a growing demand for adequate housing. The Department of Human Settlements is today hosting the Innovative Building Technologies Summit. It's aimed at advancing innovative solutions for the delivery of sustainable human settlements. For more on this, let's cross live to our reporter Nosipho Radebe, who is at the Nasrec Expo Centre in Johannesburg, where this two-day summit is taking place. Nosipho, good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Leanne, and to the viewers at home. Certainly this summit coming at a critical time when we see housing back in the spotlight, particularly when we look at some of the issues that or the construction issues that have been in the news lately. Of course, the most recent one being the building collapse in Doornfontein. So, of course, building sustainable as well as affordable housing is an important part and something that this summit wishes to answer. And now I'm going to turn then to the Minister of Human Settlements, Thembi Simelane, just to give us an understanding of what we can expect today. Minister, thank you so much for your time this morning. Of course, the Innovative Building Technology Summit kicking off today. Talk to us about what we can expect coming out of today. What are some of the tangible outcomes?
Well, thank you very much. And I'll start at the end. Tangibly, we are hoping that when we conclude tomorrow, as a department, we'll then be able to set a minimum of about 2% to allow provinces to start planning in relation of rollout for innovation building systems and mechanisms to provinces. IBTs are already institutionalized in a way, though to a very lesser extent in most provinces, particularly in the KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, and in the Western Cape. Why do we want to go into this route? You will realize that we are even first having a force of pressure by climate change, disasters that keep on creeping in, particularly in the KZN. But recently, Limpopo and Mpumalanga proved us very differently. So using innovation, you're able to build faster and in a durable way, but also in a sustainable manner. But the promptness in which it responds, currently our list sits at about 3 million additional houses that we need to provide. But also looking into how do other countries eradicate their slums, which we call informal settlements. We're currently sitting at 4,075 informal settlements in the country. Through one of our entities, HDA, Housing Development Association, we have already mapped and assessed those. Of course, we're assisting provinces and municipalities now to really assess who is a beneficiary, who is in this informal settlement. Now, for us to build the normal way for 4,075 in settlement, it means we'll never clear and make sure that everybody is in a formalized settlement. But we're also looking into how industries are going. I think 19 of our KFCs already are using one of our exhibitors inside. That's the way of how a business is developing. Some of the entities as well in retail are going towards that direction. Many mobile offices that are utilizing the systems that we are. It's not only government. That is why we end with a social compact. Because the direction for government will not only be human settlement. Why would it take you 18 years to build a clinic? That's a question we practically need to ask ourselves. Why was a hospital finished when we had COVID in other countries in 10 days? And we will take longer for us to be able to do that. That is why we have exhibition here, and we are glad that even international guests are coming to show us how are they leading the way in innovation and building. But it will also create a market. Some of the products which are already here have been tested and approved by the banks, and they are funding them, even for me and you, to build our own houses. So we're hoping that our basket of human settlement packages will be able, if you are in the gap market, the bank will finance you and you'll use the material ourselves for any of our social amenities, including houses. We will be utilizing innovation.
And I think just very quickly to your last point on the issue of why it takes so long, I guess that's where regulation probably comes in as a bottleneck. Talk to us about how the various experts here today will address that issue.
Well, you will know that the custodian of norms and standard in government is Department of Public Works. They have got an institute called Agrima, which works hand in hand with our NHBRC, which is our Housing Building Regulatory Council. And they've created the norms and standards. We have Eric Mulobi Housing Centre, where we test the quality of the material and approve it for utilization. And it is through that testing of the system that the banks then and any other person who is supposed to utilize the system can then be able to utilize that system, or know that this is quality as you will be able to. So you will also have and follow the same norms and standards in terms of building inspectors, in terms of the foundation, in terms of the roofing, in terms of a fully built well house. So the norms and standards are part of the social compact that we will be approving tomorrow as a declaration for this summit, and subsequently formal budgeting in April for our provinces to begin to roll out not only RDPs. Recall we built for the gap housing, where we use NFHC to fund. We have social housing packages. We have already started rolling out in our rental stock using innovation built technology. So in our entire human settlement basket, we'll be moving towards that direction.
All right. Thank you so much, Minister, for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right. That was the Minister then of Human Settlements, Thembi Simelane, just giving us an overview of what we can expect at this two-day summit underway, the Innovative Building Technology Summit underway here in Nasrec in Johannesburg. For now, it's back to you in studio, Leanne.
Nosipho, thanks so much for that. We'll check in with you a little bit later on.